Coming up next, 3 signs you're in a dead-end job, and then is hybrid work catching on, and why Gen Z doesn't love remote work, and of course, we take your calls, and it all starts right now. All right, folks, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you win at work and in life. More money, more meaning is our goal for you. Let's get right to it. 3 signs you're in a dead-end job, because now's the time to move if we move correctly. Okay, if we move correctly, now is an awesome time to move. It is a buyer's market for job seekers. The Great Resignation is not showing any signs of slowing. However, as we will keep you up to date on, I'm doing the work now because I'm a man of the people. You don't have to worry so much about your future because Kenny Boy is on the wall. All right? New data I'm going to be reporting on soon that a lot of people thought the grass was greener and they're realizing it's not. We'll break it down and why. But the reality is that the Great Resignation has not slowed. So now is a great time, but I want you to know what you're going for and why you're going. And so that when we cash in for more money, we are also experiencing that meaning that we all long for from work. But I want to give some of you who pretty much know you're supposed to move on, I want to give you some confirmation today. And we chose the word specifically dead-end job because that is, in fact, the right metaphor. If you've ever gone down a dead end before and gotten really frustrated, meaning you didn't know it was a dead end, you didn't see the sign, and you got there, there's very few things more irritating than driving a car to a dead end. Yeah, come on. You got to do the 18-point turn, if you know what I'm talking about. If you do the dead end that's like a super narrow alley, who likes the 18-point turn while your wife's going, I told you it was a dead end. Come on. Now I'm preaching. 3 signs that you are in a dead-end job and it's time to turn around and move on. Number 1, you aren't experiencing meaning and purpose on a regular basis. In fact, you can't remember the last time you showed up at work and you left work and you went, that was a really good day. I saw my purpose. I connected my values to the work. I connected my values to the results. Purpose. Purpose answers the question, why are we here? Right? As parents, we did this to our kids. We do it to our kids. Did you do that on purpose? Right? That means that there's a sense of intentionality attached to the word purpose, and that's why we use it the way we use it. And as it relates to purpose at work, can you see your why at work? That's why we teach talent, what you do best, your tools, if you will, passion, work you love. It literally creates high emotion. And then we see missional results. Missional means we care deeply, not just about the work, but the results. That's high emotion, high devotion. Talent plus passion plus mission equals purpose. And if you aren't spending, this is a ballpark idea to kind of help you get this if you're new to this concept. If you're not spending 75% or more of your day using your talent, performing passion, work you love, and producing results that connect to your values, that's mission. If you're not spending 75% of your day doing that, then you aren't experiencing meaning and purpose in work. And that is a dead end. You can only keep up with the zombie-like behavior for so long because that's what will happen. If you don't have a spark, I like to call it the juice. If you're new to the show, you hear me say this all the time. Do you have the juice? And if you don't have the juice because there's no passion, there's no purpose in your work, you will eventually become a zombie. Second sign that you're in a dead-end job and that you need to turn around and get out is that you aren't recognized by your leaders for your unique contribution. You aren't recognized. So what do I mean by that? Well, there's 2 types of recognition. One is the private recognition. Hey, Ken, you pop in my office real quick? Yeah. What's up, boss? Hey, listen, I just want to tell you something. I've noticed this. You're doing a good job in this area. This is a private leadership employee conversation where the leader is recognizing a unique contribution on behalf of the worker. This is huge. This is what we all long for. We are all still little boys and little girls who essentially are looking around going, do you notice me? Do I matter? That never goes away. Now, the second type of recognition that I'm talking about here is public recognition. Doing the same essential thing in front of everybody on the team. Team meeting, and you shout somebody out, hey, doing a great job. This is what you've done. I've seen it. I've noticed it. And this is the leader doing this. Now watch what happens. As the leader does this, then the team will begin to do it as well. And when the leader makes a practice of recognizing people privately and publicly for their unique contribution, it becomes habitual. It becomes catchy. It becomes sticky. Because people go, oh, I know how that made me feel. I want to make somebody else feel that way. And then as you promote these people that have been following you, they will naturally do it as leaders as well. And here's what people want. If they don't feel noticed and valued, they will move on. And so if you're in a culture where you don't feel that, or you know for a fact, this isn't a feeling, it's a fact here. I want to really kind of focus on that idea here. This isn't a feeling. We need some facts here. That you are not being regularly recognized privately and publicly by your leader, this is not going to change. And you won't be able to keep going. This I can guarantee you. Now, third sign that you are in a dead-end job and it's time to turn around and move on. You do not have a coach-player type relationship or a mentor type relationship with your leader. Now, when I say that, some of you are cringing. But you're cringing because the idea of a relationship with your current leader makes you want to throw up. I get it. You got a horrible leader. But if you step back for a moment into your humanness and realize that we all need a coach. Everybody needs a coach. I would suggest that we all need coaches in multiple areas of our lives. Financial coach, life coach, career coach, exercise coach, nutritional coach, relationship coach. Come on. Not only do we need it, I think we crave it. I really believe there is a human craving for coaching. That's what I believe. So, a recent study of more than 600 U.S. businesses with 50 to 500 employees, 63% of leaders said it was harder to retain employees than hiring them. Harder to retain than hire. So I've been talking to you, the worker, but there's leaders watching and listening today. If you don't get those three things as a leader, you won't retain people. So coming up, I'm going to talk about the solution. What do we do here for ourselves? And as leaders, what do we do for others? Stay tuned.
You were created to fill a unique role in and through your work. Now, some of you may be going, I have no idea what that is. Some of you may be saying, I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to get there. I felt all of those emotions. I've been where you are, and I can tell you, there's hope. That's why I wrote the book, From Paycheck to Purpose. You can make the income you want and the impact that you desire. And I know that you have what it takes.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. All right, so what's the solution if we now have seen the signs that we're in a dead-end job? What do we do? Like, what's the extraction plan look like? Because I know some of you going, wait a second, Ken. What if my leader is unaware that they've created a dead-end situation? That's a very mature question. Now let's talk to leaders that are watching and listening to the show. If you aren't helping people see meaning and purpose in their work, if you aren't recognizing people for their unique contribution, if you aren't coaching and mentoring, I mean really doing it, having a true coach, mentor relationship with your people, you're going to lose them. Remember, people leave leaders, not companies. Some of you are going, wait a second, Ken. Whoa. I'm a leader. I'm not sure I could agree with that. Sure you can, because watch this. They don't leave you because of maybe something that you've done. They may leave you for what you haven't done. And these three things, these three signs are three major areas where leaders don't do something and people leave because you didn't, or what you didn't do. They leave because of what you didn't do. So I want you to make sure you get this. And folks, let me just hit this. This is as simple as it gets. For the employee, this is as simple as it gets to go, wait a second, am I in a dead-end culture? For leaders, how do I engage people? We talked about the data. A recent study of more than 600 U.S. businesses with 50 to 500 employees, 63% of the leadership said it was harder to retain employees than hiring them. Why? Because they're not engaged. The key to retention, leaders, is engagement. All right. So 2 takeaways, because I know I have a diverse audience. Employees, you've seen 1 or 2 or all 3 signs that you're in a dead-end environment, but you don't want to give up yet because you haven't had a real conversation with your leader about these things. And I always recommend this because I believe that poor leadership is not necessarily a guarantee that you are working for a bad person. They may not even know. In fact, I would tell you, I think this is the majority of the problem. Not bad people, poor leaders. So employees, what do you do if these signs are showing up? The 3 signs, again, don't experience meaning or purpose in your work, you aren't recognized for your unique contribution, and you don't have a coach-mentor relationship with your leader. What do? You need to have a conversation about a growth plan. Notice nowhere in that sentence did I say have a conversation about getting a raise. This is where people screw up. We've already acknowledged that we've got poor leadership. If these signs are showing up, folks, we already know we've got a poor leader. The last thing you want to do is put a poor leader on the defensive. Then they really act up because they don't even know how to lead. Then you put a poor leader on the defensive, and you know what it turns into? A dumpster fire. Let's avoid dumpster fires. Even a poor leader has a hope for realizing something when it's shown to them in the right posture. How do we do this? Hey, I'd like to sit down and talk with you about a growth plan. I'd like to work with you. You're my leader. A couple of things I'd love to kind of work through. What are some things that I can do to be better? What are some weaknesses, weak areas, maybe some areas that I have some strength in, but I could add some greater value through some certifications or skills or experiences. What do I do there? And so we want to lean into that. And then we tie it to, once they begin to give us feedback there, hey, how can I now get better and then add more responsibility, drive greater results? How do we measure those results and tie them to my comp plan? That's how we have that conversation. Now, leaders, if you aren't focusing on developing your employees and giving them a path to a better life, you are going to lose them. And I told you how to do it. Flipping the signs. If they don't experience meaning and purpose, you better help them see their why. Get the Get Clear career assessment. Help them see it. Are they on the right seat of the bus? Get them on the right seat of the bus. Recognize them regularly and begin to coach and mentor them. They will stay with you a lot longer. So that's how employees and employers make sure we don't have people on dead ends. Okay, let's get to it. I got to cover a couple of issues in the news. Let's go. All right, so first headline, this from Forbes magazine. 2 years into the pandemic, almost twice as many workers prefer hybrid schedules to remote work. I told you so. I've been saying this on the program for a while. The guys and gals in the booth know I said this was going to happen. I said remote work is going to wear off. Like working in sweatpants and eating ice cream at lunch can only sustain your soul for so long. I fully and readily admit that's a pretty awesome thing, I would guess. Haven't done it. Would not be good for me because I really love ice cream. And I love me a great sweatsuit. That wouldn't be good for me. And so let's dive in. Why is this happening? No surprise to me, but we'll break it down. Here's what's going on. Employers are now enforcing return to office policies. Some are saying you got to be in all the time. But many are adopting a hybrid model, which if this is new language to you, it's very simple. It means you can work from home or remote some, and you need to be in the office some. And this is, we'll talk about how this is breaking down. New data from Gallup shows that the hybrid work schedule is the most preferred arrangement. 60% of such employees who can work remote say that they would prefer to work in the office some, versus 32% said they still want to work remotely all the time. Google, what are the big box, kind of big tech companies who have the most ability and versatility to work remote? What are they doing? Google has shared their model where most employees will be coming in 3 days a week. Citigroup has also said that employees should return to the office at least 2 days a week. Microsoft told employees in mid-February they would have until March 28th to move to a hybrid arrangement that was agreed upon with their managers. Verizon is less prescriptive. Verizon said they plan to launch a hybrid work forward plan on April 1st. And Chief Human Resources Officer Samantha Hammock says it includes no set schedule. But what they are saying is, with your leader, this is a direct quote from Verizon to their employees, you define what remote or what hybrid work looks like based on your own needs and your team's needs. So that's very interesting. Here's what's going on. People are going, I got to have some human engagement. That's the source of this. We can't forget that we are relational human beings. Now, continuing this trend, next headline, because the younger generation, this is fascinating to me. Generation Z, raised on technology, aren't the biggest work from home fans. Now, Generation Z are those that are 25 years old or younger. Okay, so they're younger than the millennials. A recent survey found that they're the least likely to want to work remotely. Chris Salviati of The Apartment List, which surveyed 5,000 employed U.S. adults, said that Gen Z are at a stage of life where the social component of work is most important to them. If you look at Gen Z, millennials, 51% of millennials said that remote work was more desirable than in-person work. 54% of Gen X, that's my generation, said that remote work was more desirable. And then 2/3, if I can remember, I'm not good at fractions, that's what, 66%? Of baby boomers said remote work was extremely desirable. What's going on? I think the takeaway here is older workers, they got kids, they want to be home around their kids. Gen Z's going, hey man, I kind of want to go to the reception after work. I want to go hit the bar. I want to go out to eat. And I would say one other factor. They've been stuck on their freaking computers and cell phones their whole life, and now they're craving relationship. Back to this relationship component. So there you go. Don't move. More Ken Coleman Show coming right up.
According to Glassdoor, the average job offer attracts over 250 applicants. So if you've made it to the interview, you've already made a great impression. So now is your time to showcase how you are the best choice for this role. That's why we created How to Win the Interview. This free guide will walk you through the 5 strategies to help you stand out amongst the competition. With just a little intentionality, you can prepare yourself to win the interview. To get it, go to kencoleman.com/interview.
Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you win at work and in life. You cannot separate the two. If your personal life sucks, it's going to affect your work life. If your work life sucks, it's going to affect your personal life. And purpose exists in both. And there's unique combinations. The elements of talent, what you do best, passion, work you love, and mission results that matter to you. When we get all those in alignment, oh, baby, are we winning at work and in life. All right, so we've got multiple platforms of the Ken Coleman Show. You can hear it wherever podcasts are available. You can watch it live on YouTube. You can listen to it on SiriusXM. You can listen to it on talk radio stations all around the country. But our YouTube audience has a live chat room function, and people are commenting live. And the very first comment to start today's show, I noticed it during the break. Alex Rodriguez is joining us today. And Alex's comment was, I've been working hard for 2 years for a promotion. Yesterday, the new manager said it's not going to happen. Should I quit? Now, the first thought I had was, Alex, you're a great baseball player. Despite the fact that you were accused of using steroids, you have a bright future. Shake it off. I would hope you've got some money tucked away unless you spend it all on J-Lo. Oh, hey, watch out. No, it's not that Alex Rodriguez, I guess. Alex, here's the deal. You should quit, but I don't want you to quit until we have something to quit to. The only asterisk to that advice would be if financially you have 6 months worth of money stocked away. It's not your emergency fund, as we teach at Ramsey Solutions. Just financially, you have the wherewithal to do it. My guess is you don't. So the new manager said, you are not going to climb the ladder here. That sucks. I feel bad for you. But can I just tell you that's a gift? And you need to embrace it. You know, it's kind of like, is there a chance? The great line from Dumb and Dumber, when Lloyd Christmas is expressing his love to the gal in that movie, and he says, "What are the chances?" And for you younger generations never seen Dumb and Dumber, it's worth a watch. But this is the greatest scene in the movie. And she looks at him, and she doesn't want to break Lloyd's heart. And a lot of leaders do this. So what does she say? She says, it's 1 in a million. And she's trying to let him down easy. And Lloyd misses the whole point. And at first he processes it. He looks at the camera and he kind of goes, and then he goes, so you're telling me there's a chance. And Lloyd's an idiot. Hence the name of the movie, Dumb and Dumber. Alex, when somebody tells you it's not going to happen, believe them. I don't think they're lying. And so move on. Cut ties. But hey, let's go find another gig. We've got tons of resources, free resources at kencoleman.com. By the way, if there's others out there that are watching today and you're wondering if you should leave, we've got a free resource called Should I Quit My Job Quiz. Takes you 3 minutes, and it's going to help you with that nudge you need. Should I Quit My Job Quiz? You can go to kencoleman.com/quiz, kencoleman.com/quiz, and you can get the Should I Quit My Job Quiz. But Alex, I can tell you, you don't need to take the quiz. It's time to move on. But let's have something to move on to. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. St. George, Utah is where Thomas is. Thomas, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, how you doing, Ken?
I'm living the dream, Thomas. What are you doing?
I'm just wondering what I need to do next. So my question, I got my master's in accounting in December this last year.
Okay, great.
And I've been getting, thanks. So I've been getting accounting experience the last 2 years probably, just trying to get hours and experience. And obviously trying to study for the CPA. I think that's a good thing to do after your MAC, and that's pretty much why I got my MAC. But my wife is in med school, so she's in her third year, almost finishing her third year. And so we have about a little over a year till we move to wherever we go for residency. And I don't know where that's going to be. We won't know for a while. But my question is, we've been really busy, the both of us, because she's in med school and I've been studying my CPA and doing my master's. And my question really is, well, I decided to stop studying the CPA for now, just so we could be a little less busy, and then maybe study the CPA when she's off doing her residency, when she can make a little income and I can work a little less probably.
Yeah.
But the last 2 years working these accounting jobs, I've been realizing that accounting isn't really my top choice of work.
What is?
I just love people. You know, I did sales for 4 years. I loved the money. It was a little stressful, but I took a Get Clear assessment, and it's, you know, I'm all about connection, influencing, promoting, things like that. And so while accounting is really down the line, it gives you a lot of good information and good skill sets, I just don't know how to compare apples to apples. Do I keep doing accounting and get the skill sets, or should I do what I love?
Do what you love. All right, let's go back to the Get Clear career assessment. This is why I worked 2 years on this for these type of interactions. Tens and tens and tens of thousands of people have gotten the assessment. You took it. Did you think it hit you? Did it hit you straight on?
Yeah, it was exactly what I felt was
All
me.
right, what are your top 3 talents?
Connection. I can't remember the top 3 talents, but my talent was connection, my passion was promoting, and my mission was influence.
Yeah, but you had more than that. So everybody listening and watching at home, you get a report on the top 3, but you see where you score on all 12 talents, 12 universal talents. There's 15 universal passions type of work. And then there's 6 missional drivers. This is where motivation comes from. Okay. And so your primary missional result was influence, which is people focused. In other words, the results that Thomas gets most motivated to produce in the world are people results in the form of transformation. True or false?
True.
All right. So you can't remember your other passions besides promoting?
Promoting, teaching, and I think promotion, teaching. I can't remember the third one. I'm sorry.
I wonder if it was advocating.
That was on there. It wasn't. I don't think it wasn't.
All right,
3,
that's fine. So we're going to work with what we got. So promoting is, again, in direct alignment with influence. Because promoting here doesn't necessarily just mean a salesperson, even though you did say a moment ago you were good at sales and you enjoyed sales, right?
Uh-huh.
Because you were promoting a product or service you felt helped people. True or false?
Oh, yeah, true.
Boom. So we began to look at these words and we go, what do they mean? Promoting people or promoting something that helps people? That's what you love. Does that sound like it resonates with your soul?
Yeah, I've wanted to, I've been debating since we're moving in a year and a half or a little less than that. Do I keep at this job just for the time being?
Right now.
Or do I?
Right now. You stay right now. But here's what we do. We are going to begin to shift because accounting is going to steal your soul. I would suggest to you it's already sucking your soul right out of your body. You've done it for 2 years, and I think yeah, there's no question. Here's the deal. There are 3 questions I'm going to give you for homework. You ready?
Yeah.
I want you to answer these 3 questions over the next days, weeks, months, and I want you to really take your time with it. Who are the people I most want to help? Question 1. Who are the people I most want to help? Question 2. What problem or desire do they have that I want to solve? Question 2. What problem or desire do those people that you, first question answer, what problem or desire do they have that you want to solve? And then the third question is, what solution or solutions do I want to provide? Folks, all 3 of those questions intertwine. And when we get answers to those questions, business ideas, career paths, jobs, all of that takes care of itself. That's your homework assignment. The answers and clarity are waiting. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Do you know what you were born to do? In order to get hired at a job you love, you need to get clear on your talent, passion, and mission. That's why our team created the Career Clarity Guide. In just a few minutes, this free tool will walk you through a process to discover what you do best: talent, the work you love to do, passion, and the results you want your work to produce. That's mission. Then you're going to feel way more confident throughout the job search process. To get started, go now to kencoleman.com/clarity.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, helping you win at work and in life. Now, we opened up today's show with 3 signs you're in a dead-end job. And I applied it not just to employees, but I applied it to leaders as well, because you are creating the dead ends. And I got to tell you something. I'm going to hold this over, Alex, the producer. Because in the YouTube chat room, I don't know if this is a man or a woman, because it's the most interesting. It could be a bot. Because the username is MR3D-dev. It's clearly a developer now that I see this. This is a developer is just too stinking smart to come up with something cute. I get it. But here, I'm going to tell you what his question is in the chat room. And in the next segment, I'm going to answer it. How about that? Because I got to get to Josie, who's on the line in San Diego. Here's his question. We're talking about poor leadership. And he goes, why is a poor leader in a leading job in the first place? Oh, I can't wait to answer that. Next segment, hang on. I'm going to answer, why are poor leaders in leadership? It's a great question. I'll answer it next segment. But Josie, which happens to be the name of my only daughter, so it's my favorite name in all the world, Josie joins us in San Diego, California. Josie, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
You bet. How can I help you?
I'm calling because I got a job offer. And
Yay.
it's a huge pay increase in the new jobs.
Oh, hold on a second. Joe, can we get some applause for Josie, who just got a great job offer with a bump in pay? Hey!
Love it. Thank you.
Good. All right.
So the job offer alone is a huge blessing. I also heard, I've heard you say this a million times, but it's best to negotiate. And I've heard also that it's best not to take the first offer. But at the same time, I don't want to come off as ungrateful. And I've never negotiated before. I wanted to pick your brain on it. What is your input on that? I was wondering if you can help me on that.
Yeah, I'm glad you called. I hope I've not said what you said I've said, because I don't always believe you should negotiate. What I do believe is that you need to go into this job, and any job, what I tell people is this, is you better be aware of what the market range of pay is, meaning low range for somebody with your experience and expertise. So none of this is clearly black and white. So I'm going to land this for you, Josie, and everybody else watching and listening. So we're going to look at expertise and experience, and we're going to look at the low range, and we're going to look at the mid-range, and we're going to look at the high range. And so we just want to be able to be pretty knowledgeable about what that range of salary is. And it also needs to be relevant to the area. So for instance, same job, same expertise, same experience in Ohio is not going to pay as much as it will in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. So there's our, okay, this is how we get educated. And then you have to look at where you are, Josie, personally. So let's walk everybody through this. How much more money is it that they've offered you, this new opportunity, than you are currently making?
It would be $30K extra.
I mean, hello. I am not going to start my first thought is not, well, I'm going to negotiate that. My first thought is, woohoo! Like happy dance. Yeah. My kids tell me I got to keep it here. So I'm going to do the Will Smith recommendation to Kevin James in the movie Hitch. Keep it right here. Don't get outside. But I'm having a happy dance on $30,000 raise. Let's put this in context. What did you want to get? Were you thinking you might get a $20,000 bump? Were you thinking it was 50? I mean, what were you expecting?
I was expecting, I think, around this range. Okay. But I think I just wanted to see if it's right for me to negotiate at this point.
I don't think it's
either
right.
Way, I'm grateful.
Well, so you were expecting a $30,000 bump and you got it. It's still a happy dance, right?
Correct, yes.
What's the number, just as you and me talking, what's the number that would make you feel even better? I only got about a minute, so give me real quick.
Okay.
What's the number that would make you feel even better?
The offer was $78K, and I was expecting like an $80K for it.
Okay, so this is not a negotiation in the true sense of the word. What I think you do is you go back to him and go, thank you so much. I'm very excited and grateful for the offer. I was wondering if we could make it 80. I wonder how you felt about 80,000 for me to come over to you guys. You're not saying it's a walk away number, but you're simply going, hey, I am so grateful for the offer. I mean, just really excited about the potential to work with you guys. Could we make it 80,000? Could you make it 80? And then you decide, because I know and you know you're going to take the job. So let's not make it this walk away, drop dead, pushy thing. Just throw it out there, because we know you're going to say yes anyway. No negotiation, but make an ask. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Are you wondering if you should leave your current job or stay put? Well, you're not alone. That's why we created the Should I Quit My Job quiz. In just 5 minutes or less, this quiz will help you determine if you're at the right company and if you're in the right role. And if you need to make a move, you'll get practical steps to keep you moving forward. Folks, it's time to get unstuck. Life is too short not to do what you were created to do. Go take the quiz right now at kencoleman.com/quiz.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, helping you make more money and experience more meaning. There's been a lot of buzz all over the internet, social media, about this guy, Phil from ZipRecruiter, and it's basically always the same thing. Thank you, Phil, and exclamation points and all of the positive emojis. Why? Well, because Phil is with ZipRecruiter, and ZipRecruiter's #1 hiring site in the United States. It's a free service, and they get more people hired than anybody else. That's why I endorse them. Stephanie W. said, Phil, you made my job search a priority, and you stuck with me throughout the entire process. I couldn't have done it without you. So if you want Phil in your corner, you need to go and talk to the folks at ZipRecruiter.com. Say, I want to talk to Phil. ZipRecruiter.com. ZipRecruiter.com. All right. I said I was going to answer a question. I'll do it as briefly as I possibly can, because boy, oh boy, this could be an entire show. Well, one of our chat room participants on YouTube watching live is MR3D-Dev. And he says, why is a poor leader in a leading job in the first place? He then goes on to say, seems like poor leaders are the most common thing. Now, this is fun. Eric B. chimes in. He goes, well, I'll take a stab at this question before Ken does. He types, I think leaders are often picked mostly because of time and service. No matter how lacking they are in leadership qualities, they happen to be the one who's been with the company the longest. And it's easier to hire within than having to go explore other options outside the department of the company. Now, I'll tell you this, Eric B. That's one of the things that does happen. Well said, sir. But I'm gonna, if I can, go a bit deeper into the problem. The question, why are poor leaders in leading jobs in the first place? And it's one reason. They have poor leaders above them who didn't care or didn't know, didn't care to train them, to develop them as leaders, or didn't know how to do it themselves because they were never developed by another leader. In other words, the people above them don't care or don't know. And can I suggest to you that those two little factors are intertwined too? Because when a leader knows that they don't know how to lead well and they don't take the intentionality, because now this is all on them. It's not on them that they weren't developed and trained properly, but now they're leaders. And when they know they're not good leaders and they don't intentionally decide to grow as leaders, what happens is they have accepted their plight and they say, you know what? I'm not a good leader, but I don't want to work hard at it. I don't want to do the necessary dirty work, the grind to become a good leader. And so it just is what it is, and that turns into apathy. So frustration and fear turns into apathy. The don't know turns into don't care. And this is why you see horrible attitudes of leaders. And I'm not making excuses for it, but I really want to break this down for people. If you're following me and you realize, I think Ken's on to something, that the leader who doesn't know becomes the leader who doesn't care. I think you're right, Ken, but I'm not 100% sure. And I go, okay, let me bring it home for you. You ready for this? If you suck at something and you continue to suck at it, how motivated are you to do it? I'm going to say it again. I'll put it a different way. Try to keep it G-rated for some of you folks. If you are awful at something, initially we are usually always awful. I know that, Alex, when I first started to learn how to ride a bike, I was awful. But I know that my mom and dad taught me how, and I stuck with it, and I applied the lessons. And you know what? I don't know how you measure if a person's a good bike rider, but I felt pretty darn good that I was a good bike rider. But if I rode the bike the first time, as I did, and I was awful at it, and I wrecked and skinned my knee, and I didn't listen to my mom and dad's advice, and I didn't get back up on the bike, and I didn't try to get better at riding the bike, and I stayed as an awful bike rider, watch this. I'm not going to get back on the bike again. And I'm never going to ride. Now let me bring it back. Horrible leaders. They were never taught how to lead in the first place. They then realize they don't know how to lead, but instead of getting after it and going, I'm going to go figure out how to lead. I'm going to learn. I'm going to read. I'm going to listen. I'm going to watch. I'm going to go to leadership conferences. I'm going to sit with other good leaders and have them mentor me. Instead of doing that, they just go, well, I'm an awful leader. Guess what? It's just like the kid who never learned to ride the bike and they gave up on it. And that's what leaders do. They give up on trying to lead well because they go, every time I try to be intentional as a leader, I realize that I suck at it. And none of us like to do things that suck. We just don't. So watch what happens. The leader who doesn't know how to lead, if they're not intentional to get good at leading, guess what? They become the leader who doesn't care. Because that's what we all do. I'm going to tell you something. That's good. I'm going to tell you something. That's gold. And what's the application to those of you who are non-leaders? If you want to get promoted and move up in your career, I got news for you. You will have to lead at some point. It's rare that career and professional promotions don't involve getting promoted into leadership. So you better figure this out now, because here's what I know about the human psyche. If we aren't intentional to grow and we stay in a place of failure and frustration, we then become people who don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I remember early on when I had buddies in college that say, Ken, you want to come play golf? I'd be like, I don't like to play golf with you guys. How don't you want to play golf? Because I'm awful. Because every time I do it, I dig the club in the ground and almost break my forearm. I lose every ball that I have. All of you guys are good. And I watch you guys hit the ball right down the middle of the fairway. And then I get up and it's a reminder of how awful I am. Like, no, who wants to do that? The answer is nobody. Until it involves bourbon and cigar, which is why I play golf now. So I don't care how good I am. I mean, that's not true. I'm being a little ridiculous. But wait a second. If you have a leader who's in that situation, maybe you can lead up. Maybe you can have a little empathy for your leader. Recommend a book to them. Recommend the EntreLeadership book, the EntreLeadership podcast. Recommend John Maxwell's writings. Recommend Pat Lencioni's leadership stuff. Hey, I'd love to go to this conference. You want to go to this conference? You never know what they might pick up. but more importantly, to those of you who aren't leading now, but you will eventually lead, if you develop yourself as a leader, you can win as a leader. It is a skill that can be learned. Now, do some of us have more talents that lend to being better to leader? Yes, I still believe in what I teach, that we use what we do, best talent, to do work we love, passion, to produce results that matter, mission. But listen to me. While I've told you all many times on this show that I have no mathematical abilities, and I don't, that part of my brain is dark. I mean, 5th grade math is about my limit. And then if it's in a word problem, I'm totally useless. So I can't learn to be good at math. Why? Because I don't have the mental capabilities to be good at it. I just don't. But I can learn to lead. You know why? Because leading is about serving. Serving. You want to be good as a leader? Let me give you the 2 questions you need to ask on a regular basis that guarantee you will be a good leader. You ready? Weekly, ask your people, how are you doing? That's a personal question. Know what's going on in their personal life. How are you doing? Not, how you doing? As you cruise by in the hallway. Second question, how can I help you win in your job? Whew. Leadership just got simple because you were serving people. All right. Epic rant. I got to get a drink of water and I got to get out of here. You matter. You have what it takes. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.
Thanks for listening to The Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.